All right, and we're live. So today, our plan is to finish the to-do app that I've been working on for the last too long. And yeah, so we're gonna hopefully, I think the main thing we really need to implement to get this like done to a usable state is actually displaying the to-dos, right? I kind of fixed the env variable issue off stream, at least for the API, and fixing it just turned out to be adding envs to the individual apps or packages, which I don't know if that's like good practice or not, but that's kind of, I was doing a bit of surfing across some forums, and that's kind of what I found. So yeah. Anyway, let's begin. So I'm gonna work on. I was kind of thinking about the to-do form and refreshing a list of to-dos, right? So we have our list of to-dos, and I was thinking of doing all of the. I didn't really want to separate out the logic for actually rendering the list of to-dos into a separate component, because I feel like because the to-dos, yeah, I guess, I don't know, because I want to have some sort of, maybe this is a case of a context of some sort, because I want to have the to-do list update every time that I add a to-do, right? And then I also need it to update when I delete it. And I was thinking of having that as like a state that exists inside of this to-do form, and then refactoring it into like some sort of list, like having the form and a list. Or if there's a better way of handling that, I'm not 100% sure. So that's kind of, or let's actually reformulate this point here. So figure out how to handle updating to-do list at local level, at front-end level, in front-end. Because the other thing is I could, I also want to do this too. The other thing is I could, you know, just have a context, but I feel like that's not really the right approach here. The other thing I want to do is add a wrapper fetch function for the to-do client, so that I could do that first. So a lot of these fetches here to the auth client, or sorry, to the to-do part of the API are very similar in are very similar, right? So I was thinking of exporting this into its own function. I could even do this like object-oriented, but it doesn't really matter. So let's just do to-do fetch request. And then what we're going to want is we're going to want a path, and then we're also going to want like data. But I need to figure out what type this data needs to be, right? So that's the main thing. I could just leave it untyped, but that's not really ideal. So a lot of this code is going to be basically the same idea here. We're just going to JSON stringify the data, I think. Now, the only thing with this is I got to think about the different requests that I can make, right? So let's see. So I can make, if I go to my API and we look at the controller for the to-do app, right? Or the to-do app, the to-do CRUD operations. Posting a new to-do only requires that we give it content. Getting to-dos it doesn't require that we give it any anything in the body. Updating requires that we give it content and is complete. And then deletion obviously doesn't require anything. So what we could do here is I'm just going to kind of do this all in one spot. Actually, wait. Does our Okay, so we export this. So, oh wait, no, this is my queries. Hold on, I need to go to my shared here. So let's go to schemas. To do schema, so it's my content schema, right? And then I'm going to do export const to do is complete schema is equal to z.objects is complete, and then it's going to be z.boolean. I think that's all we need. And actually, I don't want this to be an object. I just want it to be as z.boolean. I don't think it needs to be wrapped in an object, now that I think about it. Neither does this. Neither does the content schema, in fairness. Which is going to require that we update this, I think. For our form, yeah, so the Zod resolver is going to be to do content schema. Oh, and then I'm going to need to change the exports on this. So if I go to index, oh, and then I need to include the to do is complete schema. I also need to build the shared. Okay. And then now where is it? To do form should be because it doesn't need to be, I think we just do use form. Or does this actually need to be an object? Because I could just do this, right? Or it would just be data. On submit is erroring out. Z.infer. Yeah, so it requires you give it a Zod object, right? Because the type on this would be what? A Zod string. Okay. I wonder if I could then wrap this in an object. This is going to be does this work? Maybe not. That might be silly. Okay, you know what? For what it's worth, then we'll fix this. What we'll do is we'll just put this into one object, I think, for ease of do this. Okay, and then we'll re-import. So this is just going to be to do schema. And then to do schema, and then remove this. Okay, that's good. Now this is just to do schema. Type up to do schema. Zod resolver to do schema. But I want it to be specifically dot. Can I do specifically the, I want it to be specific to the content. So let's do that. So let's say Zod select attribute from objects. because I don't want this resolver because it's not gonna get the is complete status, right? Although yeah, because I feel like this is gonna fail. We can try it, but I think this is gonna fail. So if I try to add a to do like test, oh, the other thing I need to do is bring up my my studio, right? I'm gonna delete all these. Okay, let's add this. This might actually fail, right? The requested module shared index does not provide an export name to do schema. Did I thought I rebuilt it, no? Oh, maybe it needs to be rebuilt again. Maybe that fixed it. Okay, well that didn't fail in the client. Maybe something is going on here. Let's see. Or maybe the form actually can't be verified. I do have a way of getting around this though. So what we could do is we could just add a quick input. Oh no, we can't because it needs to be its own. And this would need to be wrapped in a field set, right? Or a fragment. Hold on. Okay, then I need to move this into here. Oh. Okay. I'll put our button here. And then I need another field. And I could make this a field set, but then the button is going to be in a weird place. Or I could wrap this in a field set, I guess. I don't know. And then we'll basically actually just copy this. And then field name. Oh wait, this needs to be in its own controller. I didn't even clue in on that. Hold on. Wait a second. This needs to be in its own controller. I don't know what I'm doing here. What are we cooking? We are finishing this to-do app, or at least trying to. Because I'm kind of getting tired of it still existing, or needing to be done, I guess. So I'm trying to finish it. But specifically right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm refactoring the to-do form to hopefully manage the state of the to-do list in a better way. And also with typing as well. I need to, I kind of refactored the Zod schema a little bit, so I'm refactoring the form to include the is complete. So this, okay, so this would be input type checkbox, right? Okay, no placeholder. I don't think we need any aria invalid. Yo, how's it going, Amal? Managing state, yeah, exactly. It's the hardest part. Why isn't this? Oh, that is one ugly checkbox. Dude, there's got to be a better checkbox for shad CN. What the fuck? Bro. Or is it its own thing? Ah, it's its own thing. Okay. It's its own, it's its own component. Okay, so that's what we need. So we need to do a pnpm, or I think it's pnpx shad cn at latest add checkbox, and then it's like a /c app/web or something like this, right? Yeah. It's a lot of code for a checkbox. It is a lot of code for a checkbox. Technically, the checkbox itself is going to be just this. And then we don't need this type here. What is it? What else does it need? Does it need a name too? Oh no, I should have its name inherited. 307 packages, yeah. You know, I'm doing all right, Danny. How are you? Yeah, added 26, yeah. It's literally, though, all it's doing is it's copying in this prefabbed component, right? Okay, what do I need here? Type ID is complete on change. Disable boolean name is complete reference. It's not assignable to type checkbox root props. Type boolean is not assignable to type string. Okay, where am I doing this? ID name disabled. Field orientation data disabled. Is that a thing I need to put here? I don't know. Or is that just for the disabled checkbox? Ah, it is, okay. Default checked. ID and name. Maybe it needs a name too. That could be the problem. Nope. On change. Oh, because it's getting fields here. Because we're okay. Oh no, actually that is what I need. Okay, there's a state associated with that. I'm trying to do this with React hook forms too, which is why this checkbox needs to be wrapped inside of this controller. I'm trying to do this kind of like ad hoc here a little bit. On checked change. Okay, there should be no state though. Let's see. React hook form checkbox. Let's see. Maybe giving it a default check. Default checked. No, because we don't want it to be default checked anyway. I'm just trying to think about how to do this. Or if I'm opening up a big can of worms for myself. I just don't know why this is. It's because of this field. So if I remove this, this should fix it. Yeah. But then it can't set the state here. So field state. Maybe it can. Maybe that is fine, actually. Let's see. Oh, and our checkbox is all screwed up here. So then what I might want to do is I might want to put these in a div themselves. Get rid of this orientation thing here. Oops. And have these just be horizontal. So I don't know why they're stacking vertically. They shouldn't. Oh, dude, why is this all screwed? I don't want it to look like that. Or the other thing I guess I could do is I could add a field label to it. That's the other field label. It's the other thing I could do. HTML for field .name completed. Oh, it's stacked vertically still. Yo, what's up, Jay? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, this is cursed a little bit. If we flex column, yeah, see, but now they're all stacked. Maybe if I do an orientation horizontal on this guy. Okay, that's better. Okay, that's what I want. Something like this. But then I want to put or I'm going to say mark as complete. Something like this. Maybe give it a little gap. Although actually this would need to be on the, I don't need this div wrapper. We put this on the form itself. That's better. Okay. It's not perfect, but that's a little nicer. Maybe a little bit more of a gap here. 3? Sure. So now this will actually send, hopefully, all the data that we need here. So for the to-do create post, we need to pass it the data. Okay, but I want to put this inside of this to-do request wrapper. So this is going to be localhost / to-do, and I think I can do my path here. Oh, and then I also need the method. Method is a string. Actually, I could make this a custom type as well. I probably should. Const API method type is like get or post or it's gonna be type, I should say. Get or post or put or delete, right? I'm just gonna put this here for now. I can refactor where it exists later. So that's fine, and then our data needs to be that Zod type, right? It's gonna be, And I need to import schema. What was it? To do schema. And then the data is going to be optional, and then we'll make it the type z.infer, and then type of to do schema. I think this works. And then we'll make this method like this. And then our body is going to stringify the data, which is fine. And then the other thing is when we receive that data inside of the to-do controller, yeah, okay, so it's expecting content, and anyway, I can refactor that after the break because the new post I'm going to have to add is complete here, right? Now I think I can actually put this data, I can just do stringify the data itself because it'll already be in an object, right? Good, I think that's fine. And then to do create post is just going to be we can do the, well, I think we already do the check on the data inside of the form here with the React hook form, so that's fine. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go quickly feed the cat, and I'll be right back. So don't go anywhere. Be right back. All right, we back. Sorry about that, guys. It's because I could have either fed him now, or I could have fed him in like half an hour, and you know, I think he'd rather eat now, so it's all good. If you're a cat owner, you know the vibe. So they are very, you know, demanding when it comes to food. A lot of cats are anyway. So yeah. So anyway, if you missed it from earlier, the goal to this stream is to finish off this project because it's getting, I don't know, I've probably worked on it now, I don't know how many streams, 5 or 6 probably, and I haven't finished a project in a while, and I'm getting kind of, you know, ready to finish something, so I want to cap this off. Even if it's not perfect, even if it's far from perfect, at least it'll like function properly and work, I hope. So that's the goal. Okay, so now we have our data. Now we can just make this a wrapper for, we can say to-do requests. We can just make this a wrapper around the to-do request, right? So we can say the path is nothing. The method is post, and then the data is the, we'll get the content and the is complete, which we'll put in an object, right? My first big project took like 3 months. So how's the BenStack framework performing? I mean, it's hard to know how it's performing in the sense that, like, I didn't really make anything. I kind of just, like, combined a bunch of different tools, right? So I got, like, Vite and React in the front end, Hano in the back end, and then, like, Drizzle and Postgres in the as the database. So, like, I mean, as far as those tools being good themselves, it's good. So, yeah. I think the thing is like I'm starting to realize like how long, because like it was really, this is the thing too, is as I've gotten better at when I say better, as I've, you know, my learning has gotten more advanced, the timeline for not only learning things but also completing things has increased like drastically, because the amount of tooling that I have to learn and the amount of different things that I have to consider to complete a project has like exploded. And I think, like, I'm not gonna lie, like it has kind of like discouraged me a little bit, not from not doing this anymore, that's not what I mean. I just mean like in the sense of like getting like as much enjoyment as I was getting before. But I think it's a matter of, you know, like that's just the truth of how these things go, right? And I do believe, like I have moments where I, you know, it clicks and I enjoy it. So I think that makes it all worth it. But I don't know. I will admit it does get harder as time moves forward. Okay, so this to do create posts, I need to give it that data that is complete as well. So now this should work fine. I don't know why this is giving me problems. Okay. I'll just fix that. I get what you mean. Once you're past the noob stage, you kind of realize how much effort goes into making a somewhat decent piece of software. Yeah, and this isn't like, and the thing is, I think the thing that I've kind of been like sitting with is like, sure, I've been, you know, waffling on a lot of streams, but like this like simple to do thing has taken me like probably 5 hours. No, more than that, more than 5 hours, like 15 hours at this point, right? So I mean, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. But you know, nothing comes quick. The truth is, if you work hard enough, you'll achieve whatever you want. To forget to believe in yourself, yeah. It is. You know, but that's just part of the truth of this journey, right? vastly more complex than what you would have cooked up a few months ago. Yeah, that's true. When I say simple, I mean simple in concept. I do not mean simple in execution. Very different. There is a simple concept, and then there's a simple execution. And something that might be simple in concept may not be simple in execution at all. And this, in fact, has proven to be not simple. But that's good, because it gives me kind of that practice for larger projects, right? That's why I decided to do a to-do, because a to-do app, you cover, you can do the auth, but then you also cover all the CRUD, right? Like create, read, update, delete. You cover that whole loop, and it's just like the simplest manifestation of that, I think. So anyway, all right, so this theoretically should work. When I build TCP, the premise is simple, just get bytes reliably over the network, but Jesus Christ, it's a lot of effort. Yeah, exactly. And like, I don't know. And you know what? Like, I'm Mr. like, don't use AI, but like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, seeing people cook shit up like with AI and like how much it speeds them up, even if the software shit is like, or the software quality is like way worse. I mean, I don't know. If you're an engineer using it, it could be fine if you actually audit the code. But I don't know. Seeing that, like, I won't lie, it is discouraging sometimes. Like, I'm like, shit. Like, someone could probably vibe code this in like, an hour or less, right? And I'm not saying that like I'd rather do that. It's just like it makes putting in the manual effort more difficult, I think. And I think kind of talking about that and being aware of that and bringing attention to it is important, because like I don't want to sit here and pretend like it's easy, right? Because it isn't. I'm working hard to try and make this, to do this manually. It is hard work. Anyway, all right, let's test this. So to do, and then if we add it, okay, so expected Boolean received undefined. What? Okay, so obviously the controller is not passing the Boolean over properly. So if I do value is what? Field is checked. Field dot, I don't know, value. I don't know what I would do for this. I get the sentiment, and you're true. This could be vibed in like 30 minutes, but you underestimate the benefit of going through the work. No, exactly. I'm pretty sure they can be exploited. Always read the code or do it yourself. Yep. Those models are probably trained on mistakes. Yeah, exactly, right? Because I mean, if you train on human input, if you train on human input, there's going to be mistakes like latent within that. I think AI becomes more permissible once you pass a certain stage. Yeah, exactly. 100%. No, it might not need to handwrite every HTML at every single point anymore. No, exactly. And I'm honestly like trying to, I think it's kind of tricky because I'm trying to decide like at what point do I start utilizing some AI in my workflow. The only thing is I'm afraid to do that only because, and I'm not saying I'll do it yet, but I'm afraid for that day to come because I'm worried I'm going to get over reliant on it, and then my learning is going to halt. So I have to be like very intentional about it if I bring that into my workflow like eventually. It's kind of like a can of worms I'm afraid to open, so that's another consideration. Let me figure this out. So let's do React hook form Boolean checkbox, because I don't know, there's probably something I need to pass in here that's not working. Like some things just become tedious at some point. Yeah, I agree. Start with code reviews using AI and reading its suggestions. Code Rabbit and Fallow is good. Oh, interesting. Okay, I will actually make a note of that. That is a very cool idea. So I'm actually going to write that down right now. Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's something we could integrate in the not too distant future, for sure. So, cool. All right, because I don't know what to pass the React hook form. Array field checkbox Boolean. Let's see if this has it in here. It's code example. Because it doesn't have those controller wrappers. Checkbox checked. Ref is register. Maybe I need to use this register thing. What's the issue? I'm trying to add a checkbox to my to-do add form, and I need to have React hook form understand the input from the checkbox, and I need to pass it a field, but I just don't know which. The way I handle it is for any new project architecture feature, I will not use AI, but when it comes to refactor for mundane stuff, yeah, that's totally fair. I get that. On-checked. Is it on-checked? On-checked change. And then okay. But then what do I do with this? Because I give it a Boolean, right? Maybe I have this as a state. Maybe I need to do a state, like a local state. Because for this, I think I do this spread operator, right, on the input. But I don't think I can do that for... There's field.value and field.setValue. Field.value. Oh, field.setValue. Set interval. Field.set. Oh, shit. There's a field.value. But I wonder what I could do then is if I have it like as a state and then that's kind of messy. You know? Okay, we can move that over here. So, what's friend? Is friend the form? Oh no, it's just a state. I don't know. I don't think this is what we want, actually. What is register? An input or select element and apply validation rules. Oh, I see. Okay. Set value as. Value as process only applies to text input. Okay. On change. Set up the value for the registered input. The prop should be utilized inside use effects. Okay, this is what we want. Register checkbox. It's a custom checkbox from the well, it's not my custom checkbox. It's from ShadCN. Forms component on the ShadCN website. But this is the checkbox though. React hook forms. Oh, maybe there's a checkbox in one of these examples. There's the multi-select. Ah, here we go. Checkbox. On checked change. This is what we want. Okay. I think I got it here. This is it. I think this is what we need. So we need to give it a function. So we'll do, oh, this is weird. Okay, so constant new value. Okay, what is this doing though? So is checked, and then if it is checked, we spread the field.value and then the task ID. But this is adding it to like an array of checkboxes or something, right? Like what's this doing here? Yes, this is a text box group, so I think what I would do is I would just say field.value otherwise, or task.id. What's the task.id? So that's the key. Is the task.id like a button or something? Where are the tasks? Okay, so there's no... Okay, what's the ID here? There should be an ID. Ah, there's an ID like it's a string. Okay, I see. Okay. How my state? So my state for the... Oh, this actually needs to be is complete. This needs to be added as well, I think. Oh, false. That's what I need. This is my default values. Okay, so maybe then... yeah, I forgot to add the is complete there. And then I can do... I think I can just do... because should the new value should just be... Okay, but then what does the form look like? Tasks.refine value.every... Oh, it just returns that it... Okay, I see. Oh, it's adding them to a string. I see. In this example, okay. So this example is a little different because it's changing a string based on... It's just changing an array with strings based on the value of checked, right? So what I could do is I could just say, I think I could just do like... I think I could just do this. I think for this case, I think I could just do field.onChange and then checked. Right? I think that's all I need because it's just a Boolean value, right? So I think all I need is this. I don't need to do any of this filter nonsense, I don't think. Then also have a checked attribute set to field.value. Okay. Field.value. Okay, cool. So let's refresh this then. I don't know why this is a circle. Anyway. It's probably a style thing in the checkbox. Yeah, because I don't know why this is, or it's a size thing. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Okay, test, and then we'll check this. Okay, that looks like it worked. And then let's go to the to-dos. There it is. Oh, but the is complete didn't transfer over. Okay, because I think I marked it as complete, but it didn't move. Now let's do another test with it unchecked to see what happens. Okay, so it's still false. Okay, so that's not transferring over. Okay, but at least it's not broken. So maybe this is the wrong... Maybe we're not changing the value. Maybe not checked? Yeah. Yep. You typed that the second I thought of it. Yep. Okay, let's test this again. Good. Okay. Ooh, but now it's not letting me. It's not letting me toggle it now. You can JSON stringify form.watch null too to inspect the form values in the DOM. Ooh, true, okay. Form.watch? Okay. Yeah, so now it's not letting me, could also be an issue with pre. Got you. Oh, and then the other thing is I'm gonna, it's kind of doing this like on the side because that's how I have it set up, but it doesn't really matter for testing purposes. Yeah, so now it will let me actually toggle the field. Could also be an issue with parsing. Oh yeah, it could be. Yeah, so let's see. Data.isComplete. I mean, I don't think so though. So let's just test that that works. So if I go to Postman, just get this open here. I think I need to sign into a session on here. Okay. And to do, and then we'll post content, and then we'll say test to do, and then is complete. This needs to be, we'll say true. Because this should work, right? If I just send this right to the, okay, maybe it is, or wait, does this need to be stringified? No. Okay, so maybe it is the back end now that I'm looking at this. Because if I do this, yeah, it's still false. Okay, so maybe it is the back end. You make a valid point. That doesn't, okay, so let's fix the back end now. Let's see, to do new post is complete. Oh, because this needs to be Boolean. Of course, okay. There's the problem. I think. Yeah. Oh wait, it's still saying false. Or does this need to be? I literally sent it? What do you mean? Okay, I need to get rid of these to-dos here. There's too many. Oh, I'm doing the request in Postman. Maybe just check how you send the data to the backend. Yeah, I think it's the backend processing it at this point. I was actually you can see what you sent to the server. Oh yeah, it's right here. Sorry. Yeah, I got you. I think it needs to be sent without it, like as this, right? But then it's still saying is complete is false. Oh, because I'm not actually passing anything to the new to do. That's why. Insert to do. User ID content. And then I need to update the database. Oh, shit. Okay. That's why. Yep. It is bland. You're right. It's the wrong, the query's all screwed up. So if I modify this to take in our is complete, and then is complete, and then is complete. Okay. And I'll actually make this optional. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, because I don't necessarily want to send that every time. Although, maybe not. Actually, let's fix that. Let's make that actually required. Okay. Now this should be fine. There we go. Fixed it. Yo, how's it going, JMac? You had a moment, don't mind me. Yeah, I got it. I fixed insert to. Okay, so that fixed it. So now, okay, so we're getting the right data in here now. Yes, perfect. Now change not checkbox to checkbox. Yeah. Okay. So that does work. Is complete true, false, true, false, true, false. Okay. So that's good. Because I think when I do it to not checked, I think it's checking true and then checking false again, like in the same instant. I think that's why it's not letting me click it when I had it as the other way. Yo, how's it going, Satyam? Welcome, welcome. All right, I'm going to delete this because I think we're good. So now I can do like test, and then I can mark it as complete, and then send it to the okay. So user could not be authenticated. Fantastic. The session expired. Gotta love when that happens. Okay, so I need to fix that. I need to have this update and redirect to sign in when the session expires. So that's something that I should write down as well. I should say web redirect back to sign in when session expires. Make this like a priority 1 maybe. Okay. So then that should, if I do test and mark as complete, that should send it to our database just fine. Perfect. Nice. Good. All right, that's a good spot to end it for this little session. So I'm going to take another 5-minute break. But I hope everyone's doing all right. I mentioned it in the Discord earlier today. I don't know if anyone saw it, but we are planning on releasing, or we being me, channel memberships soon. So if you want to read more on that, you can check the Discord announcements channel for some info on that. And I'm also looking for feedback if you have any, if it interests you, of course. And if not, then no worries. How's the air? Yeah, the air's better. It was really bad the end of last week, like from like Wednesday to Saturday last week. It was pretty rough, especially Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. But yeah, so it's I know in Toronto it was pretty bad too. It was kind of similar here, kind of all over the area, to be honest with you. Over the diaspora of you know, the general south of Ontario. So southwest specifically. So yeah, actually maybe it was the whole south. I don't even know. But anyway, yeah, fire smoke, it's better, thank goodness. Although they're having a lot of fires in the Northwest Territories now, which is shitty. So that's affecting folks in Alberta, BC, Saskatchewan a little bit as well. So yeah, it's kind of shitty, but it's climate change, you know. Unfortunately. But anyway. Good. So that's that. Now I just need to think about handling the state for this. For the to-dos. You've had a very productive 2 days? Nice. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of have not been as productive as I'd like to be. I mean, showing up to stream is something, but I'm glad to hear you've been productive. You've been cranking? Nice. Nice. I had one of those days at work where it was like I tried to do stuff, but like I just kept getting interrupted by meetings, which was infuriating. So like I would be working on something and then someone would be like, hey, do you have a second? And then the second turned into 45 minutes, which then caused me to have to look into another problem, which then got interrupted by another meeting. And it was just one of those days where you feel like you can't actually do anything because everybody wants your attention for some reason on a random Monday morning in July. And at the end of the day, it's never that serious, right? But it is that serious at the same time. So, you know, that's just corporate life for you. But you know, I'm glad I get to finish the day and forget about it until until tomorrow. Yesterday you read a book cover to cover. Today I painted a room at my parents' house. That's awesome. Painted a whole room in a day. I feel like I definitely could not do that. Do you do like stand-ups? I mean, kind of. It's not even that. It's literally just like my boss kind of like, hey, can you chat? And then like getting me in touch with somebody from this team to coordinate this event. And then like someone from a completely different project asks me for another thing. And then like my attention's divided. But we don't really do stand-ups because we don't really like create anything. We just manage infrastructure, right? So there's not actually like, we're not actually like doing, like we're not creating things. So it's like different than like software development, I would imagine. But we do have like weekly like check-ins, and we also do something called a technical advisory board, which is essentially like an IT term for like if there's any change or implementation that you need to, not even implementation, but like let's say you need to like add a firewall to a specific part of a site, then it's okay. So that's got to be a change. And then you got to discuss that with the team and blah 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 blah. So anyway, so we have that, but no. Burned 1,140 calories. That's a shit ton of calories. That is, I mean, yeah, that's good. That's awesome. I don't know if I've like burned that many calories doing exercise, like not ever, but like in a while. You had a deadline? Fair enough. Fair enough. I hate painting. I'm not gonna lie. I find it infuriating because I know like I'm not good enough at it, and then like the fact that I'm not good enough at it and like having an even coat like infuriates me. So like I absolutely despise painting, especially if it's for like my own room or something like that. Like I hate it. I did it once and I hate it. And then when I was little, I like helped my dad paint the shed, and I just hated it too. Even then, even like 15 years ago, I hated it. I was like 10 years old with like a brush, you know, just going up and down on the side of the shed. But the edging's the worst part. Yeah, exactly. And then I always screw it up too. Like I painted years ago, like over COVID, I was living with my parents and I painted my bedroom by myself. I was like 19. And I fucked up all of the edging in the room. So even to this day, like 6 years later, there's like paint dribbles on the molding on the floor. It's like all over. So I don't know. I suck at it. All right, let's stop waffling and continue. Yeah. So. Because it was like a board like lockdown activity, right? My dad's like, oh, well, why don't you paint your room? And I was like, sure, because I wanted it to be a different color. And then I rediscovered my hatred for painting. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so let's actually commit this first. I'm going to say refactor to include completed status in adding to do. In completed status for creating new to-dos. Update to-do client. Update API DB to accept is complete on endpoint. Something like this. That's fine. Okay. Yo, you're back to learning CSS. Nice sword. Glad to hear it. You've returned to the dark side, I see. Okay. So now we need to render the... Actually, I'm just going to write another wrapper over the... I'm going to change this. So I'm going to do export consts to do get or all get, and then async. I don't think I need to actually include anything here, so I'm just going to make a to-do request to the, I think, do I give it to the ID of the user? Let me see. So to get all by user, what's my router look like? Read all, okay. So that's, just gets the user ID, and then, so okay, so I don't need to pass anything. So get request, and then no data needs to be passed, right? So that's everything for that. You'll learn ML later, nice. That's awesome. Was it getting difficult, or like what made you switch back? Okay, so now we have this easy wrapper for this, and then maybe after learning web dev, I'll do DevOps, then ML. Nice. Okay, now what do I want? Not this. I want to basically have. Okay, so there's two ways I could do this. One is I have all of the to-do list inside of a state, inside of this to-do form. Or, because I don't know like when, or I could fetch it here, I don't know. And then kind of pass it to the individual to-do items. That actually might make more sense. Because I was thinking of like removing, so essentially we have this form, right? So I was thinking of rendering the actual to-do lists under here and then having individual to-do items. I think that actually might make more sense. Okay, so let me rephrase the question in a better way. So right now we have the form, and then below the form I was thinking of having a to-do list as its own component, and then rendering to-do items within the to-do list, right? However, okay, I think it actually would make more sense to have just everything inside of this to-do form, and then basically render the individual to-do items underneath this to-do form. But then rename this to like to-do component or something like that. And then basically managing the state for fetching, updating the list of the local list of to-dos inside of, I think state-wise it would make more sense to do it just inside of this component. And then kind of like underneath this form having, and then I would need to probably wrap this inside of its own higher level div. Unless I can do flex call for this. Yeah, it doesn't change anything. Okay. Item center. Adding optional to do as prop to set the default values conditionally. Where would that be? Oh, do you mean to? Oh, to this? Like for the form? Is it okay if I learn CSS from a tutorial then continue Odin Project? Yeah, absolutely, Sword. Yeah, CSS I feel like is like a week max for sure. But no, I'm thinking of having it render under here. So then under this form, I basically have like another div that would include like a list of like incomplete to-dos, and then another div with a list of complete to-dos or something like that. You're talking about the edit case, right? Oh, no. The edit case would be on a per item basis. You'd make a form separate and list separate, but add both to the same screen and add a callback to the form so you can optimistically update the list without refetching. Yeah, because I think my main conjecture here is then, okay, so then if I submit this, right, then how do I update the state of a sister component? Because like if I have the to-do list here, right? So it would be form and then list, and then this list would be made up of items. Like we'd have a list of items in here. Like we'd map over a state in here, right? Hold on, Sword. I'm gonna get to your question in just a second. And then the only thing is passing state, because then these would both live, like I'd have the to-do list under here, right? So that's the other consideration. And then I would need to pass state from the form to the list. And I find that, I don't know how I would exactly go about doing that. BenStack, someone told me that most of the ML roles in my country are actually just backend roles that are data intensive. Because I'd be learning a lot of math that ultimately won't be used at the job. Yeah, exactly. That's true, Sword. And I think honestly, if you want to learn ML theory, you should do it out of interest. You should do it out of personal interest rather than actually trying to get a career. Because I feel like a lot of the theory around ML has like been done already, right? Like, or unless you want to like be an AI engineer, and like that is, by the way, probably one of the most difficult things to do, because you know the AI models are at the point where like AI engineers themselves are not even sure how they work, right? Like it's kind of like a black box almost. At least that's my naive understanding. So I feel like being an AI engineer is like really tricky, because you basically have to be like at the cutting edge of like these sorts of things. DevOps sounds really cool on paper, but in practice, yeah, it is a lot of work. I actually have a friend who did his internship as a DevOps intern, and he said it was kind of menial. Main list state should be in home, so you can update it through the callback, or if you have a global state, then you don't need that to state be inside home. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true too. But then, yeah. So then I update, like, is there a way to pass state up to a parent? I forget about that. I forget. Because when we update this, then I want to trigger the parent to refetch. It can be directly in to-do list. Main list should be in home. Yeah, that's why I postponed my interest to later. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because then I would need to, like, when this is finished, right, for form.reset here, if success, just do callback or update global state if you plan that. Am I using vanilla React? Technically, I'm using React Router, but I'm using the data mode. I'm not using the framework. I'm only using React Router purely for basically just the auth, really, but it's the data mode. So I don't know if that qualifies as vanilla React. I don't think so. You can use context, yeah. I guess I could have a context inside of the home, right? Like I could have a context wrapped around this. Or could I? I guess I could. Right? I could have a context wrapped around these two. Right? On what day did you start feeling like you've made a lot of progress? Yes, you can. Okay, perfect. That's what I'll do then. So to answer your question, Sword, I still don't feel like, I don't know. It's weird because like I kind of hit a point where, actually I'll explain that after in detail, but I kind of like started out stream where I felt like I wasn't making much progress. And then there was a point around probably where we were doing the battleship and stuff where I felt like I was making a lot of progress. And, you know, I was making a lot of progress. And then as things got more and more complex with frameworks, then now I feel like I'm like back down to like not making as much progress. So it's kind of like, it's been kind of non-linear. Okay, so let's, but you know, it's all part of it, right? But anyway, so let's get to using the context here. I just need to get my, let me look at the, yeah, so I'm doing all of this stuff inside of here, but I don't think, I need a provider and all that, do I? Probably not. On the React router, use reevaluate. What does that say? Reavalidator hook page. It says data is marked invalid after actions anyway, so you may not have to do anything. No, it's, well, yeah, maybe revalidator. Okay. Got you. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so I think I could just have a simple like to-do context, right? So it'd just be like a const to-do context equals create context, right? Oh, and then it needs an initial value, right? And then it needs a default, yeah. So then, don't worry, Sword. I know what you mean. I felt like similarly, my friend. Once it's marked as invalid, it'll automatically refresh the data. Yes, you can also use it that way, is use React Router in data mode. Okay. Because I was thinking, like, do I need to have, because I think for this, do I just have a regular, yeah, I just have a regular context. I don't think I need to make this whole provider stuff. I think I can just kind of do it inside of the home, or maybe I do, I don't know. And then wrap this whole thing inside of it, I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do another context. So I'll do like I'll kind of copy this. So I'll do like another provider in the root or something like that. So then under the auth provider and auth verifier, then I have a to-do to-do here. Oh, you don't need a context at all. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I feel like there's like two different conversations going on right now. Okay. So, then, if I don't need a context at all, then when I do this, then how does it? Oh, will it trigger a refresh? Is what you're saying. So if I have a fetch function up here, like a use effect, right? Like I'd have a use effect in here to get the stuff, right? To fetch all of the data for the user, right? Then would this use effect trigger when I finish the form? Just state in home and callback function to form and state passing to list. Okay. I see skillful. I think I actually like that idea. Okay. So then I have a prop, like I have like to-dos or something. And then I also need a custom type for that as well. Cause like, what are my to-dos? Cause this is, oh no, these are the queries. I need to export this type actually as well. And then from the index, because this is going to be kind of yeah, I don't know, this is kind of messy because then now I need like to have a type for the to do, because okay, so this is kind of weird. So man, this is always like every time I try to do something, there's like a can of worms that opens, right? Because the issue is the type for the to-do entry is different than the to-do, like what you submit, right? Honestly, I'll get them on the screen first and then make enhancements. Fair enough. I think I'm trying to put the cart before the horse a little bit. So let's just forget about the typing for right now. Let's just do that. So then what I can do is I can have we'll say const to-do list, and then set to-do list is equal to useState, and then I need to have the to-dos to be something, right? They need to have an ID and all that shit. So what if I could do, I'll just do like a dirty type right now. To-do list is equal to we'll just say IDs. User ID string content string. And then we'll say it is a to-do item. Actually, no, we don't even need this. And we can do useState to-do item type. Actually, I probably want to make this a type. And then import the useState. Me too, yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just throwing stuff together, just hacky, just to get it on the screen. Okay, so we have this state here, and then we want it to be a default value of just an empty list, right? And then what we can do is to the form we can pass we can pass the setter, right? So we can say set update to-do list is going to be what, like a whatever this type is, right? And then I probably need to export this as well, so and then import this set to-do list maybe. Just call it the same thing. To-do form and then set to-do list. And then we can pass the to-do list to the to-do list. So I think this is what we want, right? So this is our callback. And then in here, we just do the fetch, right? So we'll do, we'll say const updated list is equal to await to do all get. And I think that's all we need to give it, right? Oh, we need to import it. And then we do set to-do list to updated list. And then we reset the form state, right? Update list to-do list to be passed to to-do list component in home. Something like this. So it's fine. And then we, inside of to-do lists here, we're going to give this to-do list. And then it's just going to be our to-do item type, right? And then we're going to give it to-do list is to-do list, like that. You know, need to await to do all get is unnecessary. Why? As you get data from the response of creating new. I mean, I do, but this is another API call. It's kind of I see what you're saying though. I could do it like this. But that would necessitate me passing in the to-do list here. Right? So I would need to pass the to-do list into here as a to-do item type. And then, yeah, so let's like clean this up a little bit. This is going to cause a lot of complexity. Yeah, that's true. We need more abstraction. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to cause a lot of complexity. I mean, okay, actually, you know what? Let's just leave this as it was. Because what I'm doing here is I'm just refetching, right? This is just another refetch from our to-do client. So technically it's a redundant fetch because we could just append to our existing lists. So that's fine. But it's such a small project anyway that it doesn't really matter. We're doing 2 API requests in one thing, but that's fine. I don't care about it. I'm going to say that's an intentional design decision because I don't care. I do remember you, Omar. I do. Okay, so now let's just do our whatever it was, and then our what was it? Our JSON.stringify the to-do list, right? And then what was it? 2 null or something, or null 2? I think it was null 2, right? Okay, so if we add a to-do, wait, so we should have nothing in our to-dos. Okay, if we add something, there it is. Ooh, but we're passing it the, we just need it to be the dot, because what is this returning? We just need it to be the dot data. Or I could just do data and then, or no. Okay, so it's not refetching. Yeah, I could. And I was thinking of doing that, but it doesn't matter. I don't care because it's such a small project anyway. Okay, so it's not refetching on refresh here. So what I want to do is I also want to do a refetch. Because this is only doing this on submit, right? But I want this to also set to-do list when we start, right? So I don't know if I do that inside of a use effect in the home. Maybe I do. I think I actually have to. So what I can do here is I can just say const fetch to-dos is async. And then I'll just do like await and then set to-do list to response.data and then fetch all to-dos. And then our dependency is to-do lists and set to-do lists. There. Okay, so that's fine. And then so then if I do another test 2, okay, there it's false now. But do I even need this then inside of here? So if I get rid of this, I wonder if this will update. Oh, it does. Okay, so I don't even need any of this nonsense then. Okay. So I don't even need this setter. The use effect will just work. Ah, because it's listening to set. No, but okay. So that seems to just work then. Ah, okay. So I see. Okay, so then we can just like leave it, right? So I can just leave it and then just have this use effect sitting here, and then that just like works. So then if I delete all my, okay. Sorry. Now I understand. Hold on. So now, if I just add a test, oh, okay, that perfect. Okay, that never mind. I was overcomplicating it for nothing. Okay, the more you learn. Yo, Kino. All right, let's take a break here. I've been struggling to choose my backend stack between Express and .NET. I like both, but what is better for fresh grads? If someone has any advice, I'd love to hear it. Depends what you want to go into. If you want to go into JavaScript, absolutely Express. .NET is good for if you are wanting to go for an agency that has a very strong Microsoft infrastructure, right? Like C#, .NET, ASP.NET, whatever. Like if the agency that you want to work for or the company you want to work for is very heavy into Microsoft, .NET is what you want to do, unfortunately, because that will make you hireable for those kinds of roles. But again, but in a general case, if you don't know what to pick, I would go with Express personally, because I find like if you learn .NET, it kind of locks you into the Windows Microsoft ecosystem because no one uses .NET outside of that, right? You could also do that. Paul makes a good point. You could also go with Flask too, like Python backends. That's not the path that I took, but that's another very valid one, I would say. So yeah. Sorry. Just getting back to a text. Okay. All right, so that's fine. So now we got our to-dos here. Now we can effectively render them, which is great. So we can do that in the next part. And then the other thing with the to-do is we're going to need, so okay, let's add a wrapper to fetch function from to-do client. I did this. Figure out how to handle updating to-do lists in front end. Did that, which just worked. And then so now we're onto this monster right here. Thanks. Never thought of it that way. I feel like .NET is more corporate. Well, it depends on what your corporate is, though. Kino, like if some corps don't use Windows, right? Oh, some do, but some don't, right? I feel like generally speaking, .NET kind of like locks you in a Microsoft only jobs, but if you learn something like Express, it kind of gives you more options, I think. I don't know. But you'll learn the concepts of like backend either way, whether you use .NET or Express, like because the concepts of like, for example, like the HTTP protocol, like it's the same regardless of what you learn. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with JavaScript. Yeah, exactly. Even if it is a cursed language, and a lot of people in my community have thoughts about it. It is unfortunately the language of the web. So yeah, as innovation says, you can't really go wrong. But when it comes to Java/.NET is king, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like if you want to work corporate, because a lot of corporate is Microsoft in that way. Like my corporation, I guess it's not really a corporation, but the organization I work for is all bought into the Microsoft ecosystem, right? So we don't actually use, like, I mean, we probably do use .NET, but like we're not maintaining our website. I don't even know who maintains our website, to be honest with you. I genuinely, it's funny because our company has a website, but I have no effing clue who maintains it. Not a clue. It's not IT, I can tell you that. And it's not anyone within the org. We definitely outsource it, but I don't know to where or how often it gets updated. There's more choice in the back end though. I'd pick Go for my REST stuff any day of the week. Fair enough. Yeah, I will want. I do want to learn Go eventually. For sure. It's coming. You know, it's gonna be one of the things that I that I take a look at eventually. But yeah. You enjoyed Flask. I definitely more in the camp of not wanting everything in the kitchen sink in my framework. Yeah. I get that. I'm the same way, honestly. I enjoy the simplicity of Hano because Hano feels minimalistic like Express, but it has better syntax. Ooh, from Go you can get into Flutter for mobile app dev. Nice. Why do you learn this stuff if we have open code and so on? Half for interest, but half because I also want to understand how to program GVen. That's basically it. It's self-passion, but it's also just, I think it's important if you want to be a software engineer to understand the code that either you write or AI writes, right? I feel like trusting the AI is a very easy trap to fall into, and a trap that I don't want to fall into, because I feel like it's dangerous and leading to really bad software. So that's basically why, essentially. I know I'm swimming upstream a little bit, but you know, Django's a lot. I said Django's a lot for sure. My buddy's learning it, and I realize you're not only getting the whole stack, you're getting a whole way of working. Yeah, that's kind of like with any framework too, right? Like whether it's Next.js or TanStack, like that's another thing I realized with those is like it's a whole philosophy within itself, right? It's a whole workflow. It's not just another tool. It's like an entire thing, right? It's like a whole ecosystem. Yeah, that's fair. I get that. Okay, yeah, it's like an opinionated thing. I think that's what opinionated means in that context. Okay, so let's create a state for the to-do list, right? So how we want to handle this is actually no, we need that on the to-do item level. Let's just render the to-do items actually at this point. So what I want to do is I want to filter. I want to generate two lists, right? So I want to have a div with the incomplete to-dos, and actually I want to make this. Are there sections inside of shadcn? I wonder. Whether it's like a. I guess I could make it like a card, and then can you do like cards inside of cards? I don't even know. Maybe that's kind of cursed though. Scroll area? Tabs? Is that what I'm looking for? Yes. Maybe. But then can I have like... I wonder if I can have like... Well, that would be for complete. I was just thinking of having like the complete below the incomplete. I maintain my website. Yeah, fair enough. I know what you mean. What's the live session target? What's the schedule? Is it regular? Can you elaborate on it? Yeah, so I stream 5 days a week, GVen. I update my stream schedule weekly in my Discord. Sorry, I was kind of like distracted for a second. Because like I want to basically have, so I want to have a div with incomplete to-dos, and then a div with complete to-dos. Kino makes a valid point, I think. I'm separating them by query params. No, I know I am. Oh yeah, maybe I should then, Maybe I should have two. Yeah, you know what we can do? Okay, let's do a little refactor here. And then I can just do my different fetches. Right? And then I'm going to put all of these. So I'll do the set to do complete list or and incomplete list. It's more fetches, but so we can do basically. I think I can just add the query here, right? And then I could say completed is. Oh no, because this would need to be inside of the path. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me go to my client. There we go. All right, and then now we can do, this is probably unnecessary, but I can add that query in here. So I can say complete or incompleted response, and then I could say to do all get completed is false. I think completed was the right query, right? Where was it? To do user all get. Or where do I do the sorting? I swear I had this somewhere. Ah, yeah, here it is. To do all get, yeah. So it would be incompleted response. Oops. Jesus. There we go. Fair enough, Tyler. I get that. I may very well go the same way myself. Later in the future, but for right now, web dev is the goal. So we'll do true. Again, we're just kind of just doing this to be completed. Okay, and then so we're gonna do to-do lists. Incomplete. And then to do complete list is equal to do complete list. And then we're gonna change and then I could force this to have an is complete as false, but I'm not gonna bother with that. Or is it too null? Oh, because of this. And then we'll just copy this. There we go. Okay. So now if I add another one that's false. Oh, it didn't update. Uh-oh. Why didn't it update? It updates when we refresh, of course, but now it's not updating when we submit. Something changed. Use effects only has the sets. Oh, right. You are correct. Perfect. Okay. Nice. Appreciate that. Let's just delete all these. Okay. Good. Yeah, cybersec is a lot of certs. Even IT is a lot of certs in general. I'm not gonna lie. If you're in the IT world, it's kind of a clusterfuck. Is Drizzle real time? It is real time. I'm pretty sure. Like I've got the studio up and running here. Yeah, networking, like I can't emphasize networking enough. I know everyone says it, but like that's literally how I got my career. In some cases, even more so, Tyler, I think. Who you know is more important. In some cases. I noticed you didn't refresh after deleting them and the client disappeared. Yeah, I would assume it's real time. I mean, I've kind of got the studio running here. Yeah. I would assume this is like kind of running as a process and kind of like listening, but I don't know. Okay. Can you show me the network tab? Yeah, sure. Ah. Hey, you caught on to something. What happened? Is this the, wait a second. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. So now it's just listening all the time. Okay. Okay. So then we do need the context updater then. Like, or sorry, the callback, like you said before. Yeah. You can't listen to state and fetch. Okay. Fair enough. So, let's kill this before it kills me. Fair enough. Okay. So then we can pass those setters to the to-do form. I'm even lagging? Really? Okay, well I quit it. I quit the process. Okay, why would that happen though? If it's only listening to these updating, why is that happening? That is what I'm confused about. I graduated in a year, so I want to lock in and build a portfolio. Nice. But no, Jay, I think that would explain it. I think what we just found would explain it. So then what would I do? I would have no use effect here, and then I would pass the setters to the form. Is that what I would do as callbacks? So because every time you fetch, it's also setting, so it's changing every time. Ah, I see. Okay. So could we conditionally set then based on whether it's changed? I think I probably could, right? Like, could I say like only set here if? Yeah, but that's not ideal because then this function's still running every time anyway. So then would it just be advisable then to pass the callbacks into the to-do form? Okay. That's what I'll do then. So I'll kind of, you can make a new state, for example, refresh. Okay. Ah, okay. So let's try that then. We'll default it to true, and then we'll say if refresh to-dos, then set refresh to-dos to false. And then we also need to add that as a dependency. Yeah, I got you. And then we can pass that to the to-do form. And then type on this is what? This. Oops. Not there. Here. Okay, that makes sense. After set new state, set also refresh to false. Yes, you're right. Although I'm doing that here. I'm doing that here, right? So I fetch all the to-dos and then I set it to false. Or should I set it inside of here? I think this is working. Or no, maybe I do need to set it in there actually, now that I think about it. So it'd just be like this. Okay. Okay, yeah. Now we're cooking. Okay. So then this should now work fine. Hopefully. Okay. Yeah, now it's not going crazy. So if I do like a test there, and then it updates it once, and then it does these fetches once. Perfect. All right, I think that's what we wanted. Okay, all right. So now let's actually make these to-do form, these to-dos look good. So what we're going to want to do then is we're going to go over the list, and then so the item needs to take in what? It needs to take in the, so where is the type defined? To do item type. I think we could just have it as like an item. Am I building a to-do app? Yeah. Just a basic one. If you want to read more about what the project's about, Bashal, I got you. I have a README kind of that explains the history, not even the history, but just like the context of what I'm building. Okay. So now we have our item, and then so what we can do is we can just render the item. And then instead of this, I can pass the items in. So I can do a to-do incomplete list dot map to-do item. And then I need to return a to-do item with item is to-do item. Okay, good. And then we can render that accordingly. So then we can do the same for this guy. To do completed. There. No worries, no worries. Where can I find it? It's on my GitHub. And no worries, Bishal. Okay, so now there's our list. I can make this look better after. And then so in here we can actually like get ready, make this look good. So this is firstly going to need a state. So we're going to say false on default, right? Oops. And then we're going to conditionally return based on isEditing, right? So for now, we won't worry about it, but we're just going to return the isEditing false state. So what we'll actually do is we'll say const not editing. And then we'll do return not editing. And then we'll kind of just define what this looks like here. So I think we're going to have it inside of a card. And then we'll do a card header. Actually, we probably don't even need that. We just need the card content, realistically. And then what we'll do is in here we'll say item.todo or item.content. And then we obviously want a checkbox as well, right? Which is going to be the tricky thing. So let's just see how this even looks. Okay, so now I've got these cards here. And then I think I can do like some, because what do we have? We have the content ID. Then we have the isComplete status. So, because okay, so this is the wrinkle that I'm thinking about here. Because normally in to-do apps you have the checkbox that's always there, right? But that would that qualify as editing the to-do or not? You know what I mean? I kind of have to think about that distinction. Oh, and the other thing I want to do with the list is I want to make this a full width. But then max W. But I want it to inherit the width of the parent. How can I make the to-do list inherit the width of the parent here? I thought it was just with width full, but that's like too wide. Max width full? No. Yeah. because then now what is this looking like here? Okay, so this is small flex row, width full, item center. Max width XL. Oh, but then I need a max width. What am I doing on the form? Hold on. Max width XS here. Okay. That's better. Okay. There we go. Kind of messy, but remove the SM. Where was that? I think it was in home, right? Yeah. I don't know why that was even there. Okay. I must have lost my session. Okay. So that's fine. You fixed it? You're good? Yeah. Okay. So now I need to, so if I add another one, test 2, then that'll add that there. Test 3. That'll put that there. Okay, so we've got our like to-dos here. We just need to get them looking a little better. The one thing I think for the like item is having the is what to do with the is complete status, right? Because like if I complete a to-do, I want it to jump down to the completed, right? So then technically then we need to pass our refresh to-dos to our to-do list as well. And again, maybe I'd benefit from a, oh, I'm working on the break again. Son of a bitch. Hold on, let me just finish this thought. And then the type was what? Some stupid type. This was type. Okay. Okay. But yeah. So then when we click a, it doesn't need to be a full-fledged form, does it? For like toggling a, I don't think so. It just needs to be a checkbox. Then you update the, although maybe it does. I don't know. See, this is the tricky part because like, you know what I could do then is I could just make these cards, and then when you click on the card, then that toggles is editing, and then that allows you to change whether it's completed or not. The loop came from using the fetch instead of the loader. Oh, interesting. Like the React router loader. I gotcha. Which I think you can actually use in data mode, but that makes sense. That makes sense. No, because it was triggering its own, because every time it would fetch, it would update, and then that would trigger a fetch. And then, like this, there was no bound on this. But anyway, we fixed the problem anyway. So we're good. So I think honestly I'll just leave these like this, and then like if you click it, it'll toggle whether you're editing or not. I think that's what I'll do, and then I'll just like have the checkbox only, you can only change whether to-do is complete or incomplete by editing it, just for simplicity, because I don't really want to like, you know, dick around too much with that. Set refresh to-dos to I can just pass that down, can I not? Oh, but I'm gonna need to, oh, this is prop drilling. Ew, I'm gonna need to prop drill this shit, man. Buttons can be forms too, so you could add a complete to-do URL for the server that fetches and changes the isComplete field. Yeah, I already kind of have that. I already have, like, so if I go to do update by ID, then it kind of just gets, it just updates based on the body. So you pass it the content and the isComplete, and then it basically handles, inside of the query, it handles whether you've given it new content or not. Like, so the actual body.content and the body.isComplete is optional. You can put an action on a button component in the list item while not editing. While is editing, hide the button. Ah, I see. So you have a button to toggle the state. But I was just gonna like make the, oh, you mean make the to-do item a button itself? Or no? Or like update? Or like would you have like a button inside of the card or something like that? Is that kind of what you're intimating? I need to prop drill this shit, I think, from the home. An additional button. The button would then have a post request. Okay. I see. Well, no, so what I was thinking is well, actually, technically it's a put. So I'll kind of show you what I was thinking. Is I was thinking you click the to-do item anywhere, and if you click it while it's in the not editing state, then it'll turn it into the editing state. It'll render a form, and then when you complete that form, there'll be like a submit changes button or something like that. And then that will send a put request to this endpoint. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So let's make this change. So then I'm going to need to prop drill this a little bit here. Set refresh to-dos. Oh, I already passed it into the list. And then this needs to have the right type, right? It needs to have that React blah 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 type or whatever it is. React.dispatch. We're doing a little bit of prop drilling here, but that's fine. You create another form. Well, yeah, I was thinking of doing that. It wouldn't be a big form. It would just be a form rendered inside of this card here. I don't know, maybe that's a bad idea though. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So you're saying add a button. Oh, it's just not don't repeat yourself. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so all right, so let's see. Let's buttons can be forms, so you can add a complete to-do URL. Fetches and complete changes to the complete field. You can put an action on a button component in the list item while not editing. While is editing, hide the button. An additional button. The button would then have a post request. Okay, so you're saying would the button be a checkbox then? Like what would the button do? Like, so if I have a button here, would that just be a button to open up the editor? Let's just do like a flex call gap 1 or something here, just because this is driving me nuts. Okay, gap 1 is not big enough. Like a 4 maybe. The button would be to mark it as complete. Ah, okay, I see. Oh, I see. Ah, okay, I see what you're saying now. I see what you're saying now. Okay, I'm silly. Okay, yeah. Now I see what you're saying. I was thinking my head was in the gutter with like doing a checkbox. Not the gutter, but like I was in a rut like thinking it had to be a checkbox, but it doesn't. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's do this then. So for button, let's do like, let's just say mark as complete, right? Okay, so we're gonna want to make this. Actually, we're gonna add that to the card content. We're just gonna do flex justify between maybe or something. Yeah. And then items center. There we go. I could even just give it a check mark, right? Like, what's my Lucid React? Lucid icons check. So you just say check inside of here. Oops. There. Now we've got our check buttons. And then I can do like a variant outline. Something like this. Okay. All right, so then I also want to make this content a little bigger. So maybe I wrap this inside of like a, I don't know, P tag maybe? CN text medium, or is it large? Yeah. Let's do that. I think that looks fine. Okay. So then now this would change. Okay, so then inside of it would, depending on whether it's a check or not, would depend on actually the item is complete status. So we'll actually change that. So we'll say item dot is complete check. So if it is complete, actually we don't want to check if it's complete. We want to not we want an X. So we want, what is that one? Is it literally just X? Oops. Something like this, right? What are the button variants anyway? Outline secondary. Oh, icon. Size icon. And then what else do we want? Maybe make it secondary. Yeah, this is looking better. Okay. So then now we can, although I want to make this, I'm going to change these just wrap these in like a heading. It'd actually be an H2 probably. Text XL maybe. Doing like front end stuff now. Maybe I do a font semi-bold on this as well. Oh, I would need to wrap it in a form. Okay. That makes sense. I've just been waffling about doing the... Actually, I might just make this large. That looks better. That looks more cohesive with this other stuff here. So let's wrap that in a form then. But then, so then for our action, we need to know what the I just joined but like process. Can I get the source code? Sure, it's on my GitHub. But I want to like use my to-do client, right? So if I do to-do update put, so it'd be like an export const to-do update or update put, and then we do content string and then is complete as a Boolean. And then we just make a to-do request at the ID. Oh yeah, it needs the ID. So we'll do the ID as a string. So we'll make a request at the ID. Like that, I think, right? And then the method's put, and then the data is content is complete, like this. Okay, so I think this is fine. So that's good. Okay. And then now I can do an on submit here, right? And I could do type is submit, right? Why am I doing it like this? Submit. And then for the form on submit, we would just call the handle submit, right? And then we'll do a const handle submit. Or you know what we'll do? Toggle completed. Toggle completed is equal to async. And then what we'll do is we'll say const results is equal to await to do update put, and then we'll give it the ID. And then also the is complete. We'll just say item dot content and then item is complete there. Okay, so because we don't want to change the content, right? And then what we'll do is we will say set refresh to-dos to true. I think that's all I need to do. Actually, I don't even need to get the result. I don't think I need to do anything with the result. I think I just need to do that. Now that should just... Okay, but it's going to like refresh the page every time, right? Good night, sword. Okay, so it moves things into complete, but it doesn't move things back out of incomplete. So the problem is, oh, and the other thing I'm going to need to do is I need to have an event, right? So I need to do our submit event. And I need to do like our e.prevent default or something. Something like this. And then I also need to do this as a function, like an async And then like call toggle completed with re dot, like what's the event here? Because how do I pass the submit event to this? Hold on. Promise void is not assignable to type submit event handler. Oh, I need to be an event. Event is declared. Oh, maybe events. Types of parameters is not assignable to type submit event handler element. Okay, so I need to figure out how to pass an event to this on submit. Pass event to on submit from form React. TypeScript, I should say, actually. More importantly. Okay, so this is, let's see what this says here. Okay. On submit, submit form, event, react.form event. Does that fix it? Okay, so now we're just like reordering this. So it's not toggling that Boolean. So const completed equals item. Is the loop happening again? Oh, maybe. Let's check. Oh, okay. Yeah, key prop for the items I should give. Sorry, let me. I should do this. Key is equal to do item dot ID first of all. Okay, so then let's see. No, I don't think so. I think it's just I feel like this isn't working. Because like if I add a new to do and I keep it as incomplete, it'll go down to complete, but it won't go back to incomplete. So I have a feeling that this exclamation mark item dot is complete is not toggling properly. The refresh wasn't set to false. It should be up here, right? Because we pass this back up to the home, and then when that changes, it fetches all the to-dos again and then sets it back to false. Yeah, I don't know. So I wonder if like I need to do it as a separate variable. I don't know if that fixes anything. No. Because like I would assume this is just going to stay true, right? Oh no, it's staying false actually. What? Oh, so it's not updating the to-do properly then. Evidently. Oh, you mean the oh, wait a second. You mean the is complete is being set to true. Oh no, you meant the refresh. Okay. because so it is changing to false, right? So when we press this, false is what we want to see. Because if I add another test here, this should say true. Yeah, okay, so that's good. So it's setting it. God, I need to also. Where did I do this? The key here needs to be up here too. Okay. We're like so close to finishing this, I think, except for the editing piece. But it's getting set back to true somewhere. I don't know where, like when we update this, like is this not, I wonder if that's not working. Let's try the postman. So let's do our put and then a slash, like let's get the to-dos here. So let's do this to-do. So we'll do that. And then we'll say is complete is to false. Well, actually I'll omit the content because it doesn't really matter. So now, oh, because I need to re-authenticate. So annoying. Oh, because credentials are wrong. Okay, hold on. Okay. Now we go back to this. And we do to do slash this is complete is false. Postman's still a thing. Didn't it die? I don't know. Evidently not. Okay, so that, but it kept it as true. Why is it keeping it as true? Okay, so it is a back-end issue. It's not a front-end issue. Because if I try to set it to false, it'll stay true, right? Oh, because it needs to be string. Is it because it needs to be a string? Is that why? So now if I refresh this, it's gonna go back up to there. Yeah, see, okay, so that's. It's because it needs to be, it's fucking annoying. Wait a second. So it can't just pass it a Boolean. It needs to be a string. Update to do. So I need to do some like, oh my god, that sucks. Why? String item dot is complete that thing. Okay, so I can just do this then. Okay, now we have the reverse issue. And then this is going to give me a type error because I think I should handle this on the back end side, to be honest with you. Oh, this is like truthy, falsy, string, Boolean hell is what I'm in right now. Okay, I'm going to fix this problem before the end of stream. You should, I was being silly. Yeah, fair. Okay, so we're taking in a Boolean. And then updating the to-do by ID expects, what does it expect here? So we make a request to the database. It's a Boolean, so like why? I'm confused why it needs to be a string then. Like what? Like, can we not pass this a Boolean? I don't know, man, because it's like, is it happening? Like, so, okay, so let's do console.log body, okay? Do you have to restart or build the dev server? I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. Is complete true? Is complete false? False, false, false. Okay, so, so it's set to false inside. So, okay, so it wants it to be false, right? But then somewhere along the line, it's getting set to true. So if I return, if I console log the updated to-do item, I guarantee you it's going to say false than true. Ah, see? Okay, so we found our problem. So the API is seeing the false from the front end, which is fine. But then the database is somehow fucking around with that. So it's the database that's the problem, right? So it's this database function that's causing issues. So maybe oh, you know why? Because it's this logic here. So you know what I have to do, I think? Because this OR logic, when this is false, it's just going to default to is complete and then set it back to true because the state is already true. Yeah. So it would be question marks. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, so now that should fix it, I think. Yes, perfect. Okay, now we're good. Okay. That was the problem. It was in the database. Okay, so now we can move to-dos around. Perfect. Fantastic. We are cooking with fire. Good debugging. Thank you. All right. So that's going to be it, I think, for today. I'm going to commit this. So I'm going to say, what did we last commit? Tool, to-do list components in web and fix environment. Okay, so what did I do here? I just need to see the diffs. To-do item. Okay, so I'm just going to say implement. Oh, and then not actually, you know what? No. Yeah, web/db. Implement to-do list. Or to-do list items and to-do list item implementation. I don't know. And then I'll say add to-do list items in incomplete and complete lists. Add button that allows user to toggle items between complete and isn't complete, incomplete. I'm like, it's getting to that point of the night. And then update fix DB to properly update is complete attribute for to-do list items. Good. All right. So then in the next part, or the next stream, we will basically finish this off. We'll get the is editing in here so that we can edit the actual the text, which shouldn't be that difficult. I think. Because we can kind of just do a very similar thing here where we do the to-do update put, but with the content instead, right? And then we can update what the to-dos were for. You'll need to update the submit logic as well. For which, Well, no, it would be a separate form, I think. I don't know. Maybe that's messy, though. I don't know. See the message before. The same logic used with the can be used in the to-do form component by using the item as an optional prop. Wait a second. Hold on. Let me think about this. Can be used in the to-do form component by using the item as an optional prop. But where's the item? Why would this be an optional prop, though? Let's go to to-do form again. With the submit thing. Yeah. And the to-do form component, and then for data is complete, or something, right? I don't know. But then that way you can reuse the same form rather than creating a new one. Okay. Okay. I see. Okay. I mean, I was literally not gonna make, like, what I was gonna do, Jay, is honestly just have like this be a clickable thing, and then this text turns into an input field, and then when you press enter, it just updates as its own little micro form. Because then this is redundant, because if I duplicate this form, then it's kind of duplicated. So in your to-do item component, you use is editing into form. Yeah, I could do it that way, but I was thinking like of not. And I know it's like I know this like doesn't follow don't repeat yourself, but I like the idea of just like being able to click this, and then when you click this, it like opens an input, and then you just edit that input, and then I don't know. I'll see. I'll think about it. But I totally get what you're saying. But then like the only issue that I have with that is I don't want to have this mark as complete within the, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I don't know. Because like we have these little, buttons here for marking complete, incomplete. And I feel like if I then click this and then I have another form element there, it's kind of like redundant. You still do that with onClick to set is editing? Yeah. No, of course. And then conditionally render that depending on whether is editing is true or not. But then I would need to like Zod validate and like have another, I need to probably use the, I don't know, we'll see. I see what you're saying though. I don't know, I'll think about it off stream and then kind of have that implementation. And then I think once that's finished, like we're pretty much done, right? Like what else do I have to do? We've basically finished this. Oh, the other thing I need to do is the ability to delete a to-do, right? So when we're editing a to-do, there should be a little X in the corner that allows us to delete it, right? That's the other consideration. So I don't know. And then, I don't know about this one. Yeah, and then we're basically like, other than tidying up, I think then we're basically finished. Okay, we didn't finish today, but we were pretty close. So it's literally just that editing the to-do elements, and then we're basically there, I think. And then the ability, obviously, to delete them. You'll finish next stream, yeah, I think so. Because that's just the logic that I have, and then I'm also going to. Probably off stream, I'm going to start working on the authentication because I want to use BetterAuth for the file uploader project, and I'm going to restart the file uploader project with my stack, but I want to use BetterAuth with it. So I'm going to probably tinker with that a bit off stream and get something working because I don't feel like doing more auth on stream because I'm kind of sick of it. Like for at least stream, because I want to like just jump right into the file uploading stuff, so pending on that. Although if I don't get to the auth stuff with BetterAuth, then I'll do it on stream. But I'm gonna see if I can do it off stream first. So yeah. Anyway, if you enjoy what you see here, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. That'd be fantastic. Join the Discord for updates, for stream updates, I should say, if you want to know when I go live next. I'll be live tomorrow evening at the same time-ish, plus or minus a half an hour probably. And then I'm off Wednesday, live Thursday, off Friday, live Saturday. So I'll see you tomorrow night. Yeah, have a good rest of your night, good rest of your morning, good rest of your afternoon, wherever you are. And yeah, see you later.